Political parties in Thailand, a new race against time between a petition to dissolve parliament and a House vote on a fresh prime ministerial candidate. Acting Thai Prime Minister, that's Phumtham Wechayachai, has filed for the dissolution of parliament and called for new polls.
เห็นว่าสิ่งที่สำคัญวันนี้ถ้าไม่สามารถดึงความเชื่อมั่นกลับเข้ามาสู่ประเทศได้มันก็ยิ่งทำให้ปัญหาเศรษฐกิจมันยิ่งถูกกระทบและถูกรุมเร้าปัญหาทั้งหมดแบบนี้อย่างที่ได้คุยกันฝ่ายกฎหมายก็คิดว่ามันควรจะคืนอำนาจให้ประชาชนไปตัดสินใจ
In Parliament, party whips remaining undecided on whether to hold a vote for a PM candidate or on PM candidate. That's Mr. Anutin Charnvirakul on Friday. Eyes on the House Speaker, one Muhamad Noor Matha, to make the final decision on that. The push for a PM vote comes after the largest party in Parliament, that's the main opposition People's Party, threw its support behind Anutin's Bhumjaithai party and his premiership candidacy under the condition that he agrees to People's Party's terms. These would include constitutional reforms and dissolving the parliament within 4 months. Mr. Anutin has vowed to honour those conditions, adding that he has enough support in his bid to become the country's prime minister.
จะรักษาข้อตกลงทั้ง5ข้อนี้ที่ให้ไว้กับพรรคประชาชนตลอดระยะเวลา4 เดือนนับตั้งแต่เราจะเข้าไปทำงานในฐานะรัฐบาลและจะดำรงสภาพความเป็นรัฐบาลเสียงข้างน้อยนะครับที่เราจะมีพี่น้องประชาชนนะครับเป็นผู้ร่วมเป็นผู้ตรวจสอบการทำงานนะครับของพวกเรา
And thanks. Joining us for the story, our Thai correspondent Saksith Saiyasombut. He joins us live. Saksith, very quickly, if I can sum that up. So Mr. Anutin saying that he has the backing of People's Party, and this is as a PM candidate on the condition that he dissolves the House within 4 months and going to snap elections then, as opposed to Phumtham, the caretaker government led by Phumtham right now, saying that it wants to dissolve Parliament and go for a House vote on Friday. Are those the options right now? And if that is the case, what is going to happen?
What we're seeing right now is basically a race against time between the House that has to decide when they're going to have the Prime Minister's vote and the Palace that will have to decide whether or not to accept the petition by the caretaker Prime Minister Phumtham Wechayachai to dissolve Parliament. Now, these two parallel narratives, so to speak, that we are seeing right now, they are basically neck and neck. But considering what has happened on this day, considering how much the decisions are putting the tracks on the next interim government, it's very surprising that for the rest of the day, the second half of the day, things have kind of putted and sputtered out with everybody waiting for any decision to be made whatsoever. Basically, the whips of the coalition and the government, they couldn't agree on whether to hold a prime minister's vote this week. Everybody is looking at the House Speaker now, but we have not heard anything from there either. So it looks at this point still not likely whether or not we're going to have a prime minister's vote this week. And of course, then in the background, there is this looming dissolution of the House. If the King signs off on the petition by the caretaker Prime Minister, then, of course, we will not have a Prime Minister's vote in Parliament because Parliament is simply dissolved. But the problem right there is that the Constitution is not very clear whether or not a caretaker Prime Minister can actually dissolve the House or not. The Phumtham party and Phumtham himself, they are very confident that they have a case here, but it is legally controversial to say the least, and it could, of course, spark more legal problems and lawsuits down the road.
That is confusing, Saksith, and a lot could change, and you don't have the time to spell that out for us. But if you could very quickly summarize what the different forces we're looking at right now, and therefore what is likely within those channels of possibility in at least the next few weeks.
Thai politics can be very confusing on the best of days, but I'll try my best here. What the problem right now, what we are seeing right now is that it seems almost desperate what the Pheu Thai party is doing and what the caretaker government is doing. By dissolving the House now, they're just giving the People's Party what they want. They have been calling for snap elections anyway. Whether or not they are going to get that by the end of the year or 4 months later, that doesn't make much of a difference. And then on top of that, with the legal challenges that may come down the road by dissolving the House, even though they may or may not have actually the right to do that, that seems to be very puzzling for me. Now, meanwhile, on the other hand, the Bhumjaithai party, they seem to be leaning back, confident that the minority government that they are going to have or could have in the future, with the votes supplied by the People's Party, who are very insistent saying that they're not going to join the government, they're not seeking any cabinet posts, they're not clinging onto power, they just want to have a prime minister, the least evil options of the two, in order to have a government that is voted by parliament so that they can have snap elections very soon without those legal clouds hanging over their head. But overall, of course, there are many political factors in the background, so to speak. Thaksin Shinawatra, the former prime minister and the patriarch of the Pheu Thai party, he has a court decision next week by the Supreme Court that is looking into his hospital detention. And any trouble there could also spell doom on his Pheu Thai party and the caretaker government there as well. So we are still in the middle of it, and Thai politics is still in the middle of a political storm ever since Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra has been dismissed by the Constitutional Court last week.
All right, so very quickly, I suppose the one certainty is that however one gets there, we're looking at elections in the next few months, next few weeks possibly. Thanks for that. Saksith Saiyasombut reporting live as our Thai correspondent.